Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I have a couple of questions, both for Mr. Kelly, and both being very parochial to Oklahoma. And let me just kind of share and see if you've heard of a situation like this, other than the situation that is in my state of Oklahoma. The December COVID relief authorization second draw, the PPP loans that took place, in order to be eligible, businesses must have lost the 25% revenue between the years of 2019 and 2020. Now, unfortunately, some businesses have been changed ownership in that time, and there doesn't seem to be anything there that addresses this as a problem. I'll be specific. In the town of Cushing, Oklahoma, a couple named J.D. Meissner and his wife Mary Lee bought a newspaper, the Cushing Citizen, in February 2020, only a month before the COVID-19 lockdowns began. Now, their business model stayed the same, yet JD and Mary Lee have been unable to receive a second draw or really to have this problem addressed. What happens in this unique situation? I'm sure they're not the only ones where this has taken place. What would you suggest in looking at ways to mitigate, I would say, unintended circumstances that they found themselves in?
Senator, it's an excellent question. And as I mentioned in my testimony, I'm relatively new, 3 weeks into the job, but I can assure you that it has come up in other states. Change of ownership during the pandemic is creating an issue with second draws about whether or not the entity, the NewCo, post-acquisition, it should apply as NewCo first draw, or does it apply second draw because of the outstanding? So what I'd like to do is take this offline, work with the staff and committee. We are addressing this through our Office of Policy, but it has been raised. It's an issue that we need to clarify because it is coming up, and I appreciate the question.
Well, I'd ask a further question. Why would there be a difference if you had a change, if all the plans were the same and nothing else changed, but only the ownership during that period of time? I can't think of any justification for that. Or do you know if the particular case that I'm referencing? I'm not sure whether our staff had sent that up in preparation for this meeting. And
No.
sorry. What do you suggest, though, in this particular case that we do?
Yeah, so I apologize because I agree with you that it should be common sense. However, the way that the SBA loan programs typically work is they consider a combined NewCo, seller and buyer, post-acquisition, as a new company. And so that's what creates the tension, because the seller was the first draw recipient, but now there is a new company that's been formed post-acquisition. And so does that apply through the first draw and the second draw? And I apologize for letting you down, Senator. I don't have the answer right at this moment, but I will get it.
I didn't anticipate that you would have the answer, but if you would look into that particular case, because I know there are other examples around that would fall into a category that probably should be addressed. So if you do that, let me know. I'd appreciate it. The second thing is, it's kind of similar. It is local. Back in February, the SBA changed the calculation for the PPP loans for certain small businesses, and a lot more, as you're fully aware, of the independent contractors, sole proprietors, and self-employed individuals are now eligible for the PPP and can receive higher loan amounts. Yet the businesses, some of them, I know in my state of Oklahoma, were not aware of the change that had been made, which opened it up to them, but they were not aware of it. And so we have cases where in Oklahoma where businesses actually are closing simply because they think that they remain ineligible when in fact they're now eligible. So what are they doing to make sure that these changes are properly communicated? What would be the path forward for someone who's already passed a deadline? Could you address that?
So I think if, just to clarify, Senator, are you referring to the gross income calculation for sole proprietors, self-employed individuals, and 1099
Yes,
independent
that's what
contractors?
yes, uh-huh.
Okay, okay, thank you. Yes, so we do need to amplify that message, and part of what we tried to do, a month ago was to begin that effort. There's more work to be done, but I would recommend your
Okay.
staff to send me an inquiry, and we'll work with constituents to help them.
Oh, okay, and I'll also include some others that were kind of involved in this. So I thought,
Yeah.
and it's a tough job. You make changes like that, and all of a sudden you have a large population that becomes eligible
Mhm.
or ineligible because of that. So anyway, if you'll do that and get back with me, I'd appreciate it very much. Thanks so much.